This is me at my last Rubik's Cube competition. I drove over to UC Irvine to compete with cubers from all over the world, and during this competition some crazy stuff happened. But not before I got up at 6 AM just so I could get a coffee before heading over. It's time for 3x3 round 1. I was literally shaking from nerves before I went up, but watch how the first solve played out. It actually wasn't too bad. For the next solve, I got a 1251. We're starting off the average with a solid first two solves. The third solve was going really well until I did the wrong OLL and ended up with a 14, which I was not happy about. Then I got a couple 13s, which weren't great, and I ended up with a 1299 average. That's pretty mid. I think now would be a good time for me to talk about my goals for this competition. Today, I want to see how many PRs I can break because at previous comps, I haven't really done too amazing, so I think it's manageable to break a couple PRs, right? If you guys saw my last competition vlog, you know that I came really close to getting a sub 10 single, so I want to make that my goal for this competition. For 4x4, I just want to break my PR single and average, which shouldn't be too hard because they're not too great at the moment. And for 5x5, I want to do the exact same thing, and that should also be very, very easy to do because I have a history of doing really bad in competition for big cubes. Anyways, after 3x3 finished, I just kind of chilled with everyone. Sorry I didn't get much footage of that. And then it was time for 4x4. I'm not going to show all the solves because the footage is super blurry, but I managed to break my PR single with a 50.18. I ended up breaking the PR by only like a tiny bit because I messed up the solve so bad, but hey, a PR is a PR, I'll take it. After lunch, it was time for 3x3 round 2, another chance to break some PRs, and at the start, it wasn't looking too good. I got two 14s, making one of them count, so we were already off to a bad start. And then I got a 1240. Okay, that's pretty normal, but why do I look so bad? For context, this solve had a lot of potential, and I ended up locking up in the end. But it's okay, because what happens at the end of the average is insane. But before that, I got another 12. Okay, maybe the average can be saved, but to do that, I would need a really, really good solve. I'd probably have to end up breaking my PR, so the pressure was on. And break my PR I did with a 1067. This was a huge relief for me, but sadly the average was worse than the first one. There's still hope though, because I somehow made it to 3x3 finals. I honestly don't know how I pulled that one off. But before we get into that, we still have 5x5 to get to. While I was practicing, I was getting absolutely horrible times, but something just switched when I went to compete. And as soon as I got into my flow, my times weren't that bad. Except for that first one, but we don't talk about that, okay? Then I got a 210, that's not bad, but still not a PR yet. Then I got a 217, which kinda sucked, but it's alright. And then, this happened. At the time, I wasn't sure if this was my PR or not, but I later found out that I shaved 5 seconds off of my previous PR single, so we can check another one off. To finish off the average, I got a 216, which wasn't amazing, but apparently I had also shaved 5 seconds off of my PR average. That's another one down. Now the only PR left to break is my 3x3 average, but wasn't there another goal that I had set for this competition? Yeah, well I broke my 3x3 PR single, it still wasn't a sub 10, so now in finals, I would have to do it again. Yo guys, I'm interrupting the video to let you know that you can now become a channel member. There's 3 different tiers starting from just $2.99 a month, and you get access to all of these amazing perks right here, like these badges next to your name, custom emojis, early access to new videos, exclusive community posts, and a private channel in the Discord server with all the other channel members. And at tier 2, you get all the other stuff, and you get cool things like shoutouts in my video descriptions, members only live streams, and more. Now tier 3 is for the really cool kids. You get everything above, plus shoutouts at the end of every video, and a weekly call with me and all the other tier 3 members where we can talk and have a good time. All you gotta do is click that join button, pick your plan, and you'll have a 69% higher chance of breaking your PB. And it'll help support the channel, so thank you so much. Well, that wasn't a great start, but I still have 4 solves left to try and beat my PR single and average. This was when I started getting really nervous because the first 2 solves were bad and now I had a counting 13 in the average. My next 3 solves would have to be really, really good. At this point, I had already kind of accepted that I would not be breaking my PR average today, which was a bummer because I had improved a lot in 3x3 and I didn't really get to showcase that. This was devastating because now it not only meant that I wouldn't be breaking my PR average, but I also no longer secured a good average in general. To be honest, it was really embarrassing to get times like this in finals, which I had never made it to before. I had just given up, and I told myself at this point it didn't even matter what I got for my last solve. But something in me told me I had a job to do, a goal to accomplish, and a PR to crush. This was one of the best moments in cubing I've ever had. It just felt amazing to finally have an official sub 10, and to do it after all of those horrible solves was just the best feeling. And suddenly, the bad times I had gotten before that moment no longer mattered. That was the biggest goal I had set for myself, and I had achieved it on the very last solve of the competition. I had a lot of fun at this competition. Sorry for posting the vlog like 4 months after it happened, but the good news is I have more comp vlogs coming very, very soon. I promise I'll get to work on them. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, use code JFCUBING at the cubicle. Peace out, guys.